Hi, folks. Okay, so it's New Year's Day, and I'm going to talk for just a couple of minutes about the short story assignment, which you're probably rewriting or have finished rewriting and have sent in to me. A couple of things. If you had, I think there's two people of 16 or 15. If you have not done the assignment, you're way behind. Okay, this is an intense course for credit that simulates an entire semester. So to be clear, you're expected to be online, and the administrators of the course have told me this. Students are expected to be online every day doing something. Okay, so that's why I'm throwing these videos up and sort of keeping this thing moving. So you need to check Moodle. I would check Moodle twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. I am altering the course as I see, and I will as I see some people have certain strengths and weaknesses. This is definitely not a course that a week from now you can start handing in material. Okay, so you need to be doing it right along with me and the rest of the class. Because in a couple of days, we're going to go to segment 2 of the course, and that's a different subject matter within screenwriting, within the introduction. Okay, so a couple of things. I gave everyone notes on their first, that little short story. I think it was 400 to 700 words, right? Lots of great writing and fun stuff. Everybody kept it detailed and small, which I think is great. Okay, it was third person. Obviously, I asked you to put it in third person because when you're screenwriting, which we're getting to, most of that is really third person. And even when you're writing something that's in which there's a narrator speaking in a movie saying, I did this, I did that, you still got to be able to look at it from the third person, i.e. distanced arm's length. Okay, so I push you to get into that way of writing. So two reasons for my notes in general. One is I give you kind of hard notes to go, oh, wow, I've got to start over. I mean, at least half the people that I give notes to, I asked them to basically start from scratch, but usually I said use what you wrote as the notes to the next short story you're writing. So they're not in contradiction to each other, but write another different 500-600 words. That's to see if you can respond to notes that are abrupt and changes that are abrupt. Not only is that absolutely typical for a professional screenwriter, get a call on Monday saying, you know, we want you to rewrite it by Wednesday and it's a different point of view, or you're setting it in a different country, or etc. More importantly, as a general way of looking at writing, your writing life and any writing you do on a professional level, and I do mean any, writing is rewriting. I'm sure you've heard other teachers say that. I'm sure you've heard it. If you haven't, you know, walk around all day saying that to yourself from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. Writing is really rewriting. That's not just some exaggerative thing we say to force ourselves to do more rewriting. There is no writer I know, and I'm pretty, I mean, I have a pretty wide net of writers. I've been meeting a lot of fiction and prose writers lately because I'm also writing a novel. And I'm in a group called the Mystery Writers of America, which is like the preeminent mystery writers and crime novelist organization. It meets in Manhattan monthly. I go to that. I meet fiction writers all the time. I'm having lunch with one next week. You know, these are people who are published and have book deals. I know plenty of screenwriters like myself who have actually sold scripts, so we're not just talking out of our hat. I know plenty of filmmakers, plenty of independent filmmakers, because I go to film festivals, and I know people who are right now putting their episodes up on YouTube, and they're writing and producing little short videos, and some of them are very alternative and very off the wall experimental writers and directors, and some of them are quite formulaic, and in terms of the screenwriters for Hollywood, people like me whose background is writing for a studio, getting paid to write a full script for a major movie, and I don't know anybody who will ever tell you that writing is rewriting is wrong or is an exaggeration. I say this from my heart as a teacher. I say this to every class. Writing is truly rewriting. If you write a first draft of something and you put it on, it's fine. You hit the last, period and you go, gosh, I really want to go, drink some lemonade and sit in a room for a couple of minutes. That's totally understandable. Where the professional writers, the good ones, the people who actually want to do it on any level professionally as a craft, Where they come in is they're the people who say, okay, I have my glass of lemonade and I'm ready to rewrite. That's where the real writing starts. The other stuff is, you know, fun. Okay, so writing is rewriting. That's why I give you abrupt and strong notes and tell you to try it from an entirely different point of view or to completely start over, etc. Secondly, I'm trying to force you to write a story, even though I haven't given you much of a definition for a story yet. I'm going to touch on it now. And you're going to read about it in, I think I assigned about 30 pages from Robert McKee's book, Story, which you've bought by now. Kindle, you could get it on Kindle in 10 minutes. Or used, I highly recommend. Get Robert McKee's Story. You must have it. It's in the syllabus. It's in the instructions on Moodle. So you'll read about this in the story, but I'll simplify it and give you the Greg DePaul version. Basically, when you have a character in a room who's thinking plenty of thoughts, that's what you have, a character in a room who's thinking some thoughts. When you have a character in a situation, many of you wrote about a person who's caught in a situation as a prostitute, and perhaps they're being exploited by a pimp or some dominant or vicious person who's hurting them. That's very important, and that's part of the roots for a story, and it can be part of a story because it's details, it's personal, which I asked you to write personally, and you did. But it really isn't a story until somebody does something. Okay? And my first screenwriting teacher, who had made movies to his credit, he basically said, storytelling is a list of actions. That's what I mean. There's other things too, but that's the foundation of it. You can't have a story without people taking actions. They could be foolish actions, they could be tiny or very, very subtle actions, but they have to be actions taken by characters. Basically, one way to look at it, like on the most basic level, is a character meets a problem and does something to overcome the problem. Okay. Another way to look at it is characters with goals are presented with obstacles and they clash, right? They have to take actions to get over the obstacles to get to what they want, the pot of gold. Or it could be something like, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a pet. It could be friendship. It could be a Chevy Impala. In any event, you've got a character or characters. You've got a situation and there's conflict. Why is there conflict? Because everybody wants something. Nobody exists without wanting anything. It really helps if you think of characters as sharks, always moving, always wanting something. Even characters you think of as very sympathetic or sad or pathetic or however you want to look at them, characters have to want something, if only to escape a terrible situation. And then they're presented with a situation. A person's in jail and she wants to get out of jail. Well, who's the obstacle? The person who guards her. What's she going to do? Is she going to lie to get out of jail? Is she going to confess her crime? Is she going to sneak out in the middle of the night? That's your story. The story is in the doing of that, right? Person meets obstacle, get past obstacles, okay? You can pretty much apply that to almost any movie and most TV shows that I can think of. You can just sort of throw that right on there and it fits in the most broadest, simplest way. And I'm keeping it broad and simple because I want you to read the McKee book, Story, and the pages I assigned and think about them when you're reading them, okay? And send me questions. Email me questions at gregory.depaull@purchase.edu. Okay, so I'm going to end this video. I think I'm going to make one more, but I'm going to put this one online now. And please email me with any questions. Okay? Thank you so much and happy writing.